It feels like every single day there's some new AI tool that's promising to change the world, right? It's a lot. But what if we stopped just making lists of new tools? Instead, today, we're going to explore a really powerful framework for understanding this whole AI revolution. And it's all based on the brilliant work of former machine learning researcher Clemens Wan. So let's just dive right in.
And honestly, it all kicks off with this thought from Clemens that I think we can all relate to. He says, look, AI can easily write lists of 30 for me. And that makes you wonder, right? Maybe I should be spending my time on stuff that isn't so easily replaced. It just forces you to think a little deeper. And that's exactly what this whole framework is designed to help us do.
So here's the absolute key, the one thing you need to remember. If you want to understand any AI, from the most basic to the craziest, most complex one out there, you just have to ask one simple question. What did it learn from? It all comes down to its training set. That's the data it was fed. And that one idea, it's the key that unlocks this whole thing.
All right, so to make this super clear, Clemens breaks it all down into 3 simple levels. Think of this as our roadmap for today. It's a really straightforward but powerful way to see how AI actually thinks and works. So let's kick things off with level 1. Okay, so this first level is called interpolation. Now, what does that even mean? Well, think of it like this. You feed an AI, say, millions and millions of cat photos. It starts to see the patterns, right? The pointy ears, the whiskers, the tail, all the catness. Then it can create a perfect average cat. And the important part is, it's not just copying one single photo. It's truly mastered the idea of a cat from all that data it's seen.
Next up, we have level 2, extrapolation. And this is where things get really fun, really creative. The AI takes everything it learned back in level 1, all those patterns and textures, and it starts mashing them up in new, interesting ways. So now, it's not just going to show you an average cat. No way. It's going to create a cat in the style of Van Gogh, or maybe a cat exploring a city on Mars. It's literally building off the map it was given.
And that brings us to the final level. Level 3, full-on creativity. Now this is the real frontier. We're talking about an AI that doesn't just play by our rules, it makes up its own. It wouldn't just write a story, it might invent a whole new language. Or, discover a new law of physics inside a simulation. And yeah, like the slide says, we're definitely not here yet. But it's where things could be headed.
Okay, so let's bring this back down to earth. How is level 1, this idea of interpolation, actually showing up in our world right now? Well, it's all about AI mastering a world of data that we humans have already made. And let's start with a big one. Maybe the most obvious example of this. Language. We're talking about AI, the writer. So, you've seen models like GPT-3, right? The reason they can write an essay or a poem or even computer code is because they basically learned the patterns from an insane amount of text. And what's the secret sauce? It's that training set. We're talking a massive chunk of the internet, books, pretty much everything humanity has ever written down. It's a perfect example of an AI mastering our world of language. All right, so from the world of words, let's jump into the physical world, a much, much messier and more complicated place to learn. And a perfect example here is the driverless car. Think about it. These things aren't just following a simple list of rules. No, they're learning from a training set that is growing every single second. Each car on the road is like a little data collector, constantly feeding back video, sensor data, millions of miles of real-world driving. And all that data helps the entire system get smarter and master the incredibly complex patterns of the road. Okay, so that's level 1, mastering our world. Pretty cool. But now, let's kick it up a notch. Let's see how AI is using all that knowledge to create brand new things. This is where we get to see level 2, extrapolation in action. And probably the most mind-blowing example of this creative leap has been in the world of art. AI the artist. So you've probably played with tools like Midjourney or DALL-E. The amazing thing is, they don't just go find a picture for you. They literally create a new one based on what you type. And how do they do it? They extrapolate. They've learned from billions of images and their descriptions, so the AI knows what impressionism looks like and it knows what an astronaut looks like, so it can just smush those two ideas together to create something totally new, like an astronaut in the style of Monet. It's not copying, it's creating. And get this whole extrapolation thing isn't just for still images. Now it's being used to create entire spaces, a sense of movement. Okay, this is where my mind gets a little blown. An AI can take a single, flat 2D picture and generate a full-on 3D fly-through. This is such a great example of extrapolation, because to do this, the AI has to literally imagine what's behind that tree, or what's just over that hill. It's building a whole new world that you can explore, all by extrapolating from that one single photo. Wild. All right, so we've seen AI master our world with level 1 and create new worlds with level 2. So what's next? Where is this all going? Well, the next frontier seems to be moving beyond just creating what we ask for and towards discovering things we didn't even know to look for. And this really is the big question, isn't it? Can an AI use what it's learned to go beyond just copying the what and start to actually understand the fundamental how and why our universe works? Well, it looks like the answer is yes. And one of the most powerful examples is happening right now in the field of biology. Okay, so this is called AlphaFold 2, and it is a massive game changer. For like 50 years, one of the biggest challenges in biology was predicting how a protein would fold itself into a 3D shape. A huge problem. But AlphaFold 2, by training on the entire database of known proteins, can now predict those shapes with just incredible accuracy. This is a huge leap. It's using its training data to make real scientific discoveries, stuff that could completely revolutionize medicine. So you see the pattern here, right? Whether we're talking about writing an essay, creating art, or folding proteins, it all comes back to that one crucial point. It is all about the training data. Doesn't matter if the AI is interpolating, extrapolating, or discovering, its power, its limits, its potential, it's all defined by what it learned from. And that leaves us with this one last, big, fascinating question to chew on. As these AIs keep getting smarter, as they keep learning, is that final level 3 of true creativity just going to be a super complex mirror reflecting us and all the data we've ever created? Or could it become something else entirely, something truly new that we can't even begin to imagine right now? Look, what we've touched on today is really just scratching the surface of the insights in Clemens Wan's original work. If you want to see all 30 areas that he talks about and really dig into this powerful way of thinking for yourself, I can't recommend it enough. Go check out his work at listof30.com. Seriously, you'll be glad you did. Thanks for hanging out with me.